Now, turning to an issue that is gaining a lot of attention because of the war in Ukraine.
Yes.
The conflict is spotlighting the struggles that many refugees face putting down roots in a new country. More than 3.1 million refugees from around the world now live in the United States. In both 2020 and 2021, about 12,000 new refugees were admitted. Many of them are children. Adriana Diaz spoke with a group of young refugees living in Chicago who are part of a community called Reach. They talked about assimilating to the United States and their memories of the countries they used to call home.
What I do remember is sound of gunshots, sound of pain, sound of people stuck in the war for 40 years. That's all I remember from Afghanistan.
In Burma, there's military coup, so we can't go back to Burma.
Mohammed, do you remember what it was like in Syria or why you guys left?
We left because there was a lot of war and it wasn't pleasant. Lots of shooting.
To hear children speak so plainly about war and human suffering is not easy.
We came to the U.S. because my mom wanted a better education and just life in general.
My name is Noor, and my intention for today was to learn more about animals.
But despite the odds, these kids have found hope and bonds with each other through the similar stories of their parents' sacrifice.
How hard was it for you guys to get used to life here in Chicago and making American friends and learning the culture?
When you step out, there's nobody really you can talk to. There's nobody you can share your feelings to. You feel very, very alone.
It was hard because we didn't really know any English, so we couldn't communicate.
Unfamiliar language, culture, and unspoken societal rules keep many refugees in their homes. But so much time indoors can deepen feelings of isolation, especially for kids.
I was a little bit depressed because I literally couldn't do anything except stay at home. But as I talked more in school, I started making more friends and I started explaining my feelings.
Because what happens when you keep your feelings bottled up?
You won't make friends if you don't open your emotions or talk to anyone.
Getting kids to open up and socialize is the goal of Reach, a nonprofit in Chicago that connects refugee youth through activities.
I was approached by several members of the local refugee community. They were worried because a lot of their sons and daughters were facing a lot of academic failure, social isolation, bullying.
I want us to think about a couple of things that you want to try to find.
Shauna Wills has worked with the refugee community here in Chicago for more than 30 years, and she knows the pitfalls.
They're expected to learn a new language, adapt to a new culture, understand a new school system, and then do that while also finding the right peers. They feel like they need to fit in, and so they're easy targets for gang members. We've seen a lot of refugee young people who lost their lives to violence here.
So they're even more vulnerable to gang violence and recruitment.
Very much so.
When they come to this country for a better life.
Yeah, you're gonna make me cry because we've lost a lot of kids.
That's what keeps her on this now lifelong mission to help these kids grow into their own identities while becoming familiar with their new country. The program exposes them to new experiences designed to build confidence, and it also uses nature as therapy.
The most important thing that happens is that they start to feel a sense of belonging.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
One look at their faces, and you see the impact.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
What have you gained through Reach?
A lot of confidence, being more social, more activities, more talking to people.
Reach makes me feel comfortable and confident. I was shy and I wasn't willing to go out there and, express myself.
So does the U.S. feel like home now?
Yes, definitely.
U.S. feels like home because now everyone is equal. People are saying nice things. They're not judging anyone anymore.
I have a sense of community. I don't feel like the odd one out anymore. I don't feel left out.
When we first came here, I had no confidence in talking to anyone, but now I feel more confident in school and talking to people, not being shy.
I kind of feel that the United States is made of millions of different stars, and by stars I mean different nations, different cultures, and I think one of the stars is my culture, it is me, it is where I belong.
For CBS Mornings, Adriana Diaz, Chicago.
He said that very well. The United States is made up of a lot of different stars. When you're a kid, you just want to fit in.
That's right.
You just want friends and you just want to fit in. It's good that they're now starting to feel that.
You can only imagine what it's like when you just move across the country or to a new neighborhood and you go to a new school.
That's hard.
Coming from another country and trying to fit in. You don't speak the language. The culture is different. And sometimes people aren't as welcoming as they should be. Kids, until they learn how to be.
Adults, too.
Right.
And I think we all collectively can take a little bit of what Reach is doing in Chicago and apply it across the board. I mean, you never know how isolated somebody is. An adult, a family, of course, kids. But I think we all can look in the mirror and say, maybe we can do a little bit more for somebody who might feel a little isolated.
I always say kindness always works.
That's right.
On all levels, it doesn't matter what you're doing, kindness always works.
That's right, Gail.
I love that piece, Adriana.
Yes.
For that.
Well done.